This episode is brought to you by Batiste Dry Shampoo. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or getting ready for a night out, Batiste has a dry shampoo for you. Refresh with over 10 signature fragrances. Or try Batiste Hint of Color, a tinted dry shampoo that seamlessly blends with your hair. Need an extra boost? Try Batiste Dry Shampoo with added benefits like volumizing, texturizing, and more. Buy Batiste now, in-store or online at your nearest retailer.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And we are back here on Katz and Cosby. Wow, wow, wow. Tony Carbonetti continues with us. Of course, he was chief of staff to then the mayor of New York, the great Rudy Giuliani. And, you know, Tony, we just heard a wow there from Andy Biggs, Congressman Andy Biggs, saying that an active duty senior Department of Homeland Security official has told him that 3 countries have essentially assassination teams in this country, and they're also domestic ones, trying to target President Trump right now. That is frightening.
It's very sad. And like I was just saying, if 2 amateurs can get as far as they did, it worries you what professionals can do.
Yeah, that is true. And you think about how close he came in Butler. It nicked his ear. You think about in Florida, the guy was waiting and, you know, he would have been within 25 to 50 yards of him if he walked up to the next hole. I mean, this is scary
Rita,
stuff.
It bothers me because, 20 years ago, I used to sit in briefings from the NYPD when the Pope was coming to town, and they were amazing. They seemed like they were prepared for everything.
Yeah, and now look at what we're seeing.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, let's go to KT McFarland, former Deputy National Security Advisor under President Trump. KT, this is a wow, what we just heard from Andy Biggs that he was just briefed on. Your thoughts about just how dangerous this time is?
If the President of the United States does not direct the United States Secret Service to give former President Trump presidential level protection, then he is complicit in whatever happens next. There are lots of levels of Secret Service protection. The highest level is what the President of the United States has. Former presidents, former officials, even current mid-level officials. It's nothing like what the President of the United States has. And at this point, it's pretty clear that a lot of guns are aimed at Donald Trump. And unless the United States Secret Service ups the ante, and they'll have to do it at the direction of the president because they'll need more resources, President Trump will remain a target every single minute of every single day.
You know, it's amazing. I think about this, KT. Think about if it had been, if this had happened 5, 10, whatever years ago, and there had been an assassination attempt, one of them against a former president, potentially future president, the whole world would be going crazy. Everybody, it would be bipartisan. It would be an American outrage. Where is our president? Why isn't he pounding his fist and saying, my goodness, look at all the threats against this president? And today we have the Supreme Court finding out that 6 justices were threatened, them and their families. Guess what? There's 6 conservative justices. You can figure out what's going on. The guy was a Democratic donor. Where is the outrage? And why isn't Kamala Harris pounding her fist? This is really, to me, it's like you said, it's complicit.
1/4 of Democrats think that Donald Trump should be assassinated, according to a latest poll. So they're answering to their own voters. And why are those people thinking Donald Trump should be assassinated? It's because these guys, the rhetoric that's coming out of the president, the vice president, all the people around them, is either look the other way or, Donald Trump must be stopped. I mean, I can't tell you how many meetings I've been on the Upper East Side of Manhattan where people say openly, Donald Trump must be stopped at any cost. Now, are they calling for the assassination? Are they fundraising for assassins to go after President Trump? No, but they're blowing a lot of dog whistles. And unless the senior leadership of the United States government, and it starts at the White House and it's in Congress and everybody else, including the media, should be out and doing what you're saying, Rita. They should be screaming at the top of their lungs. This is wrong.
Isn't Biden supposed to be stepping into that elder statesman role now? Where is he?
We don't know where he is. I mean, nobody's written it on the teleprompter.
Right.
So
I don't think he knows where he is.
Write it up and have him read it. disgusting.
Really scary stuff. Before we let you go, KT, I want to ask you also about Israel, because we're hearing now that Israel is striking areas in Iran. And of course, this comes after those. That was unbelievable. It was like a scene out of a movie. The pagers going off, the walkie-talkies going off. And now we have the UN with, of course, the big UN week coming up, KT, as you know all too well. But they're blasting Israel, saying, this is not appropriate. Are you kidding me? They targeted Hezbollah terrorists.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same mentality that says the assassination attempts against Donald Trump are Donald Trump's fault. Israel shouldn't defend itself because to defend itself, it has to kill people who are killing it. And, that's Israel's fault. Look, Israel's just done something really significant in the last 48 hours. Number one, they've probably done a really major, a hole in Hezbollah, because all of those 4,000, who knows how many really, 4,000 or 5,000 fighters have been either disabled or they're scared to death or they're never going to pick up a communications device again. The other thing they've done is it's like a psychological blow. Think of where people put their cell phones and their pagers. And the guys put them in their back pockets, their front pockets. When an explosion goes off, what happens? I mean, for a macho society like the Muslim world, and especially the terrorist fighters that they think they're tough guys. I mean, to hit them at that part of the body, that's a psychological blow. And the other thing that really struck me is that these weapons that they're using, and they are weapons, the cyber weapons are done without the United States cooperation, participation, or assistance. So Israel is showing that it can do what it needs to do without the help of the United States. So President Biden, Kamala Harris, they can slow walk all the weapons deliveries they want to punish Israel. But Israel's figuring out a way to defend itself by itself.
Yeah, Israel's sadly realizing that they can't count this administration to have their back, and that's really sad. Boy, oh boy. And she keeps vacillating, you see, all over the place about Israel. It's a scary place, I think, for Israel and for the world. KT, thank you. It's great to have you here. KT McFarland, thank you.
Thank you.
These days, it might seem hard to find a job with a future, where people are valued and appreciated. But at Chick-fil-A Supply, we don't just offer jobs. We offer purpose-driven careers. As part of Chick-fil-A's distribution network, we ensure the ingredients that make the foods customers love are reliably delivered to Chick-fil-A restaurants. If you're interested in a role in transportation, warehouse, or front office, we're interested in you. To learn more, visit cfa-supply.com.